Welcome to an audiobook summary that will change the way you think about habits forever. Imagine transforming your life just by mastering small, simple changes in your daily routine. In this audiobook, we'll break down James Clear's groundbreaking book Atomic Habits, a masterpiece on how tiny actions can lead to extraordinary results. You'll learn practical strategies to break bad habits, build good ones, and create a life of purpose and productivity. Packed with actionable insights, this guide will show you the science of how habits work and how to make them work for you. Whether you want to improve your health, career, relationships, or personal development, this audiobook will be your step-by-step blueprint. Are you ready to unleash the power of tiny habits? Let's dive in. Chapter 1, The Surprising Power of Atomic Habits. In the first chapter, James Clear introduces the concept of atomic habits, small, incremental actions that compound into significant outcomes over time. He begins with the powerful idea that success is not the result of massive actions but of small, consistent efforts. Clear emphasizes that we often fail to achieve our goals because we focus too much on the result rather than the process that leads to it. He explains the 1% rule, where a 1% improvement every day leads to exponential growth. For example, if you improve by just 1% each day for a year, you'll be 37 times better by the end of the year. Conversely, getting 1% worse every day leads to a rapid decline. Clear illustrates this concept with examples, such as the British cycling team, which transformed from underachievers to Olympic champions by making small, consistent improvements in every aspect of their performance. Clear also dispels the myth that massive success requires massive action. Instead, he argues, success comes from building systems, not setting goals. He highlights that goals are outcomes, but systems are the processes that lead to those outcomes. Key takeaways: focus on daily habits rather than long-term goals. Small improvements compound over time to create remarkable results. Success is the result of systems, not willpower. Chapter 2, How Your Habits Shape Your Identity, and vice versa. The second chapter explores the deep connection between identity and habits. Clear introduces a powerful framework for habit change, identity-based habits. Instead of focusing on what you want to achieve, focus on the type of person you want to become. He provides a 3-layer framework for behavior change: outcomes, what you get, processes, what you do, identity, what you believe. Clear emphasizes that true behavior change starts with identity. For example, instead of saying, "I want to lose weight," say, "I am a healthy person." Identity shapes actions, and actions reinforce identity. He provides examples of successful habit changers who align their actions with their desired identities. Key takeaways: build habits based on the person you want to become. Identity change leads to lasting habit change. Affirm your identity with small wins. Chapter 3, How to Build Better Habits in 4 Simple Steps. In Chapter 3, Clear introduces the habit loop, a 4-step process that every habit follows. These steps are: cue, the trigger that initiates the behavior; craving, the desire or motivation behind the behavior; response, the actual habit or action; reward, the benefit gained from completing the habit. He explains that understanding this loop is crucial for both building good habits and breaking bad ones. The key is to manipulate the components of the habit loop to your advantage. To create good habits, you must make the cue obvious, the craving attractive, the response easy, and the reward satisfying. Conversely, to break bad habits, you do the opposite: make the cue invisible, the craving unattractive, the response difficult, and the reward unsatisfying. Clear also shares practical examples and strategies, such as habit stacking, where you link a new habit to an existing one. For instance, if you want to start flossing, place your floss next to your toothbrush and use the habit of brushing as a cue. Key takeaways: every habit follows a loop of cue, craving, response, and reward. To build good habits, make them obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Use habit stacking to integrate new habits into your routine. Chapter 4: The Man Who Didn't Look Right. This chapter delves deeper into the first law of behavior change: make it obvious. Clear emphasizes the importance of awareness in habit formation. He introduces the concept of pointing and calling, a technique used by Japanese train operators to maintain safety and efficiency by verbally acknowledging each action they take. Clear suggests using a similar technique in daily life by creating a habit scorecard, where you list your current habits and evaluate whether they are positive, negative, or neutral. This exercise brings awareness to automatic behaviors that you may not even realize are habits. He also discusses the power of environment in shaping behavior. Small changes in your surroundings can have a massive impact on your habits. For example, if you want to eat healthier, placing fruits on the counter instead of junk food can make a big difference. Key takeaways: awareness is the first step to changing habits. Use a habit scorecard to identify current habits. Design your environment to make good habits easier and bad habits harder. Chapter 5: The Best Way to Start a New Habit. In this chapter, Clear builds on the first law, make it obvious, and introduces the concept of implementation intentions and habit stacking as powerful ways to start new habits effectively. An implementation intention is a specific plan that clarifies when and where you will perform a new habit. The format is simple: I will, behavior, at, time, in, location. For example, I will do 20 push-ups at 7 a.m. in my living room. Habit stacking, mentioned earlier, involves linking a new habit to an existing one. This strategy is effective because your brain already associates the old habit with a specific cue, making it easier to adopt the new behavior. For instance, if you already drink coffee every morning, you can stack a new habit by saying, after I make my coffee, I will meditate for 2 minutes. Clear emphasizes the importance of specificity when forming habits. Vague intentions often fail because they lack clear direction. Saying, I'll exercise more, is far less effective than, I'll go for a 30-minute run at 6 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Key takeaways: use implementation intentions to clarify when and where to perform new habits. Link new habits to existing ones with habit stacking. Specificity is key to effective habit formation. Chapter 6: Motivation is overrated, environment often matters more. In Chapter 6, Clear argues that while motivation gets a lot of attention, the environment plays a more critical role in habit formation. He reinforces the idea that success is less about willpower and more about making good choices easy. Clear explains how the law of least effort works. People naturally gravitate toward the option that requires the least amount of effort. Therefore, designing an environment where positive behaviors are easier can significantly improve habit adherence. A small example is placing your workout clothes by your bed if you want to exercise in the morning. Another important concept is priming your environment. This means preparing spaces for their intended purpose. If you want to write more, keep a notepad and pen on your desk. If you want to avoid distractions, remove temptations from your workspace. He provides numerous actionable tips and examples that demonstrate how to engineer environments that promote desired habits and reduce unwanted ones. Key takeaways: the environment is a more powerful driver of behavior than motivation. Make good habits easier by designing your surroundings thoughtfully. Remove friction for good habits and increase it for bad ones. Chapter 7: The Secret to Self-Control. In this chapter, James Clear focuses on the limitations of willpower and how environment design plays a crucial role in controlling habits. He begins by explaining that self-control, while important, is often overemphasized. People with strong self-control aren't necessarily better at resisting temptation, rather, they are better at avoiding situations that present temptations in the first place. The concept of temptation avoidance clear illustrates that instead of relying on sheer willpower, it's more effective to remove cues that trigger undesirable habits. For example, someone trying to quit smoking should avoid places where they are tempted to smoke. Clear highlights studies showing that people who excel at maintaining good habits typically structure their environment to reduce exposure to temptations. Clear introduces the inversion of the first law of behavior change, make it invisible. The idea is to eliminate cues for bad habits. If you don't see the cue, the craving is less likely to arise. Examples of how to apply this principle include: want to eat healthier? Remove junk food from your house. Want to reduce screen time? Keep your phone in another room while working. Clear further emphasizes that it's easier to change your environment than to change your mind. He states, disciplined people are better at structuring their lives in a way that does not require heroic willpower and self-control. Key takeaways: willpower is a limited resource and not a reliable way to control behavior. Successful people create environments that naturally lead to good habits, make bad habits invisible by removing the cues that trigger them. Actionable strategies: identify triggers for your bad habits and eliminate or reduce them. Rearrange your surroundings to promote good behaviors and discourage unwanted ones. Prime your environment for success by keeping tools and resources visible and accessible for positive actions. This chapter reinforces the idea that shaping your surroundings is one of the most powerful steps to habit mastery, significantly reducing the reliance on willpower alone. Chapter 8: The role of family and friends in shaping your habits. In Chapter 8, James Clear explores the profound influence of social groups on our habits. He explains that we are naturally wired to imitate the behaviors of the people around us, particularly three types of groups: the close, the many, and the powerful. Clear describes these influences as follows: the close, we tend to adopt habits from our family, friends, and those we interact with frequently. For instance, if your friends exercise regularly, you are more likely to develop similar habits. The many, the behaviors of the majority influence our actions through social norms. People often conform to group behavior to gain acceptance. The powerful, individuals who hold status or power inspire imitation. We often model our actions after people we admire or aspire to be like. Clear explains that social norms shape what behaviors we perceive as normal or acceptable. He encourages choosing social circles that align with the habits you want to adopt. For example, joining a fitness community can make exercising regularly feel natural and enjoyable. Key insight: the imitation principle. The more you surround yourself with people whose habits you want to emulate, the easier it will be to adopt those habits. Key takeaways: the habits of those closest to you have a significant impact on your behavior. Social conformity and norms influence both good and bad habits. Seek out groups and communities that reinforce positive behaviors. Actionable strategies: join groups where your desired behavior is the norm. Surround yourself with people who exhibit the habits you want to cultivate. Be mindful of social pressures that may lead to undesirable actions. Clear illustrates his points with engaging examples, demonstrating that leveraging social forces is a powerful way to reinforce positive change and break negative patterns. Chapter 9: How to find and fix the causes of your bad habits. In this chapter, Clear delves deeper into the mechanisms behind cravings and introduces the inversion of the second law, make it unattractive to weaken bad habits. He explains that cravings are driven by underlying motives such as seeking pleasure, avoiding pain, or gaining approval. Clear outlines how to reframe your mindset to make bad habits seem less appealing and good habits more attractive. For example, Instead of thinking, I have to work out, reframe it as, I get to improve my health and feel great. This positive shift in perception makes the habit more desirable. The hidden motivators of habits. Clear identifies several core drivers of behavior: to seek pleasure and avoid pain, to seek connection and avoid rejection, to seek recognition and avoid insignificance. By recognizing these motivations, you can find healthier ways to meet them and replace harmful habits. Key takeaways: cravings are the root of habits, understanding them helps control your behavior. Reframing your mindset makes good habits more desirable and bad habits less attractive. Motivation can be enhanced by focusing on the benefits and positive outcomes. Actionable strategies: identify the true motivation behind your habits, reframe bad habits to focus on their negative consequences, highlight the benefits of positive habits to increase their appeal. Clear provides a comprehensive toolkit for shifting perceptions and uncovering the triggers behind habits, empowering readers to reshape their behaviors and achieve long-lasting change. I hope this summary gave you valuable insights into building lasting habits and achieving your goals. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What takeaways from the book resonated with you the most? Feel free to share in the comments. If you found this helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Your support means a lot and helps the channel grow.